Taking a classic character from live action and dropping them straight into an anime is, well, it's a bit like handing a legendary acoustic jazz musician a synthesizer.
Right. Yeah.
Suddenly they have these entirely new boundary-pushing tools for, a very familiar kind of chaos. So welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at just one major announcement today.
Yeah, it's a huge one.
A new standalone anime series greenlit by DC and Warner Bros. It's called Joker, Laugh Riot. And your mission for this deep dive is to figure out why this specific medium might actually be the perfect cure for our collective Joker fatigue. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because to figure out why this leap to animation works, we really have to talk about the sheer limits of handing an actor a script and a camera.
Yeah, think about the absolute masterclasses we've gotten from actors like Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix, right? They gave us these incredibly grounded psychological descents into madness.
Oh, absolutely. Unforgettable performances.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, an actor's face can only stretch so far. They're still confined by bone structure and, physical gravity.
And that is exactly where handing over that synthesizer comes in. Anime inherently provides this hyper-expressiveness. It allows the creators to lean hard into the avant-garde.
Right.
So instead of just watching a guy in makeup act crazy, we're getting surrealist visual sequences that literally represent his fractured psyche on screen.
What's fascinating here is how modern comic book movies have become completely bogged down by these expectations of realism. Every superhero film feels the need to offer a gritty, pseudoscientific explanation for its world.
Right, like, I don't know, why exactly the suit works biologically or whatnot.
Exactly, but anime just strips all of that away. It fully embraces the absolute absurdity of a clown fighting a bat-themed billionaire.
Which is absurd when you actually say it out loud.
It really is. It uses distorted proportions and shifting art styles to biologically trigger a sense of unease in you, the viewer, and that's something a real human face just cannot do.
I hear that, but let me push back for a second. The Joker is arguably the single most bankable villain in pop culture. Slap his face on a t-shirt, it sells. Make a meme, it goes viral.
True. Very true.
So I have to ask, is this actually a creative breakthrough? Or just another massive cash grab? You need to convince me this isn't just more of the exact same content in a different wrapper.
Look, I totally get the cynicism. I really do. I rolled my eyes at first, too. But the actual format of Laugh Riot proves they aren't just copy-pasting the Western formula. Because they're abandoning that strict realism, the entire structure of the show is actually fracturing to match this experimental visual style.
Oh, interesting. Meaning we get to finally skip the whole, falling into a vat of chemicals origin story.
Yep, we've seen it 1,000 times. Instead, this series is acting as an episodic descent into these wild what-if scenarios. Every episode is framed as a distinct joke told by the Joker himself.
Wait, really? So it's essentially an anthology then?
Yep, which necessitates an anthology format. By abandoning a linear, realistic timeline, they can jump between genres effortlessly. You get a gritty noir detective story one week, and then a high-octane heist sequence the next.
And it's not just an excuse to have Batman chase him through different backdrops, right? The creators are bringing in anime original disciples, like characters specifically designed to act as funhouse mirrors reflecting different facets of the Joker's madness.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this builds on a really rich history of East-West crossovers. We've seen things like Batman Ninja or Suicide Squad Isekai, where those villains actually get dropped into a Japanese fantasy world.
Right. Isekai has been huge for DC lately.
Oh, definitely. Japanese creators have this deep historical fascination with the charismatic trickster archetype. Giving them the ultimate, most famous version of that trope in a format that fractures episode to episode is just an incredibly smart cultural crossover.
Which raises a massive structural question for you. If every single episode shifts genres and the animation style keeps mutating, does the Joker actually remain the same character? Or is his total, complete inconsistency the actual punchline?
Honestly, I think that's the genius of it. The animation itself is acting as an unreliable narrator. His identity becomes as fluid and chaotic as the lines drawn on the screen.
Wow, yeah. So whether you are a diehard DC fan cataloging every version of Gotham or you're just genuinely fascinated by cross-cultural storytelling, Laugh Riot is a massive, unhinged swing by a powerhouse studio.
It really is.
They're trying to revitalize a 100-year-old icon by completely taking off the training wheels of Western reality.
It's basically a front-row seat to what happens when you let the chaos take the wheel.
Which leaves you with one final thought to ponder. If removing the constraints of physical reality and Western narrative norms can entirely breathe new life into the Joker like handing him that synthesizer to make a completely new kind of jazz, which other rigidly defined, overly serious Western pop culture icons are secretly desperate for a Japanese anime makeover.